welcome to the second night of Hanukkah with Monika and the second night of Hanukkah. Shabbat Shalom, Happy Hanukkah. In my first episode, i.e. yesterday, I made a homemade Chanukah for the first night of Hanukkah so that I could light something for my family Zoom. Tonight, I figured, hey, why not explain what Hanukkah is? I asked my coworkers if they had any questions about Hanukkah, and they basically said, well, what is it? Like, what's the origin story? Tell me about it. So, here we are. Full disclosure, I am not an expert. I am Reformed Jew who has too much time on her hands. So this is a conglomeration of me spending about 5 hours researching the Maccabees and Hanukkah and all that jazz. Basically what I'm about to tell you. So let's jump into it. Okay, so I've heard it referred to as a Jewish Christmas. Is that right? No. The only reason Hanukkah is equated to Christmas is because in the 20th century, capitalism caught on to another holiday that it can exploit, and it has done ever since. In actuality, Hanukkah has low, holy kind of vibes in Judaism. But yeah, Hanukkah and Christmas cannot be equated to each other. The only thing they really have in common is the fact that capitalism has dug its dirty little claws into both of them. So then, what's Hanukkah? It's a Jewish holiday that commemorates basically the winning back of and repurification of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem after the Syrian Greeks' occupation there. You're right. Let's go back. Let's set the stage. The time is 168 BCE or 165 BCE. You know what? Let's just say around 200 BCE. The place, Judea, also known as the land of Israel, which wasn't an established country as we know today, just a land that held lots of Jews and also included the very important city of Jerusalem. Why important? Because Holy Temple is why. Because Holy Temple, holiest place for Jews. The people? Syrian King Antiochus IV Epiphanes, with a very small mention to Syrian King Antiochus III. Guess who he is? He's the father, Mattathias Maccabee and Judah Maccabee. Full disclosure, I might be saying these names wrong, but you know what? We're gonna plunge ahead. The Syrian king Antiochus III successfully held and controlled Judea, the land of Israel, around the year 200 BCE, and Antiochus III was relatively chill, at least in regards to how harshly he treated the Jews who occupied the new land within his kingdom. He let them go about their religion and all that jazz. Pretty benevolent. Compared to, well, his son. Unfortunately, good old Antiochus III died, and in the year 168 BCE, his son Antiochus IV Epiphanes took over as king. Which did not bode well for the Jews. Because, well, he outlawed Judaism, no Shabbat, no festivals, nothing Jewish. He ordered Jews to worship the Greek gods. He basically gave the Jews one of two options: convert or die. Which isn't really much of an option. And to top it all off, he ordered his soldiers to overtake Jerusalem, killing thousands of people, and then to just shove it right in their faces, he erected statues of the Greek god Zeus in the temple, desecrating it and basically saying a big fuck you to the Jews. Now, you remember the Maccabees? This is where they come in. A Jewish resistance movement rose up against this injustice. Mattathias Maccabee, a Jewish priest, led this movement with the help of his 5 sons. Unfortunately for Mattathias, he was old, so soon one of his sons, Judah, took over as chief strategist and basically leader of this military resistance. This rebellion went on for 3 or so years, but eventually Judah Maccabee, otherwise known as the Hammer, successfully pushed the Syrian armies out of Jerusalem.
We love that guerrilla war tactics, baby.
Fun fact, some Jewish scholars even believe that Hanukkah was actually a very belated Sukkot, which is celebrated in early autumn, think
8-day kind of holy harvest.
And they didn't really have the resources or the time to actually celebrate Sukkot because war. So they just decided to celebrate it later. And then it just stuck. But that's just some of the rabbis' theories. Anyway, it's here in the Talmud where the miracle of Hanukkah actually took its shape. Jumping right back in. Now that the Jews successfully took back Jerusalem and the Holy Temple, they needed to clean that shit pronto. Gotta put the holy back in Holy Temple, am I right? So what's a man to do? Simple. Judah ordered the purification of the temple, rebuild the altar, and relight the menorah. The candelabrum, whose gold hands represent knowledge and creation, and were meant to be lit every night.
Oh, easy enough.
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
See, when they went to go light the menorah, they found that there was only one jar of oil, which was only enough oil to keep it lit for one night. So the only thing they could really do was actually send a messenger out to get more oil and then just hope and pray that it will last as long as possible. Spoiler alert, this holiday is called the Festival of Lights for a reason. And that's because their prayers were answered. Miraculously, when the messenger returned from his 8-day travels, he found that the oil had lasted all 8 nights. Yay! So, this is what the rabbis of the Talmud have accredited the celebration of Hanukkah to be, to the miracle of this single jar lasting all 8 nights. And that's truly all she wrote. And yeah, that's been Hanukkah with Monika. Me trying to answer what is Hanukkah. Hope you enjoyed this origin story. We love a good Maccabee. Catch next episode, episode 3 on the third night of Hanukkah, where I tell you some more info about how you can celebrate it and when it actually is, because I realized that that information could be shared. Bye. Thank you.